Thank you for joining. My name is Darlene Campbell. I'm going to share my screen with you now and talk to you about the three stages of healing, both emotionally and physically, and how they are alike. So, the first stage of healing is called inflammation. The second stage is called proliferation. And the final stage is called maturation. You might be surprised to know that the three stages of healing in your body can actually show you how to progress through the three stages of healing from an emotionally traumatic event. I work with hashtag Apathy Corp, and it's a faith based nonprofit teaching people how to heal, change, and end the cyclical effects of trauma in their lives. The website is there. So, when we talk about the three stages of healing, we're talking about inflammation, proliferation, and maturation. Let's talk about the first stage, inflammation. When we have a cut, blood rushes to that area and it forms a protective barrier. When we have a spiritual or emotionally traumatic event, thoughts rush into our minds. And those thoughts are there to try to bring us some sense of calm and bring us back to a state of normalcy. Doctors call this state homeostasis. So your body wants to return to normal, and so does your mind and heart after an emotionally traumatic event. Next, let's talk about the second stage, which is proliferation. In this stage, we see a lot of growth. Physically, your body actually develops new tissue, and more blood is pumped to that area in order to try to heal and bring about um, a sense of calm to that area again. Spiritually, this is a time of growth as well. And just like with that natural wound, when you have a lot of tenderness and pain in that area and you kind of don't want to touch it or bother it very much, but you know that you have to, the same thing with your spiritual or emotional wounds. You are going to have to be in a positive, nurturing environment where you can discuss that wound without, for lack of a better way, picking at it to cause more pain. So when you have a wound on your leg, you don't want to pick at it. You don't want to infect it. You don't want to re-damage it, but it does have to be manipulated. It does have to be cleaned. The dressing does have to be changed on it. And so the same thing, you have to expose that emotional pain to the oxygen of conversation, of discussing it. But it needs to be with life-giving words and a positive, clean, sterile environment. So just like that natural wound has to be clean and in a sterile environment, so does your spiritual wound. You need to have people around you who are not bringing in more damage. They're not bringing in a bacteria of negativity or um, harm to yourself or others. And then finally, we have the third stage, which is maturation. In this time, physically, the tissue is strengthened, it's replaced. The blood vessels that did come in originally during inflammation and proliferation are now able to move away from that area, and you're starting to see a lot more normalcy, although there is still healing taking place under the surface. And that will continue. The same thing with your spiritual wounds. You will see that you are able now to manipulate that area, to move in that area of your life, but you will need to take your time and be more gentle with that as you learn to re-strengthen that area. So as you can see, there are definitely those three parallels in our natural and spiritual wound healing. If you would like to know more about that, please like, follow, subscribe, tune in, join the podcast. be a part of this mission as we learn to heal, change, and remove the cyclical effects of trauma in our lives. Thank you.